Hello everybody, Stephen Howson, and this is Crystal Palace preview. Loads of spares tonight. I'm expecting a poor turnout from the crowd, similar to what we saw against Aston Villa, where it's a bit of an expectation. Everyone sort of got one eye on weekend and Wembley. That's the chatter for everybody is, have you got your Wembley ticket? Have you got your Wembley ticket? How are you getting down there? All the rest of it. And everyone's sort of forgetting about tonight. I think all of the FA Cup semi-finalists are in action this evening. Manchester City getting a draw last night leaves that door open for us, didn't it? There was a couple of fixtures that I've been looking at for ages, and I'm thinking City have got opportunities to drop points there. We just need to capitalise. Newcastle's one. Arsenal is the obvious other one. Someone out of them and Arsenal are going to drop points. And then Stoke, I think Stoke got their arse handed to them on Monday night by Spurs, who looked irresistible. But Stoke is another one that I can see might use getting something at City, and it doesn't have to be wins. City can draw games and completely fuck this up for themselves. That's what we want. We want Pep Guardiola to come in and have to deal with Thursday nights. It's going to cook his head just as much as the likes of Bournemouth and West Brom and that are as well. So that's what we really want in it. We need to sneak in there for that top four. Real Madrid are going to slap their arse anyway in the semi-final of the Champions League, so don't worry about that. Liverpool, they could go all the way, and could end up in the Champions League next year. That's the one I'm more worried about. I don't think City are a threat for the Champions League spot next year. As long as they don't finish in the top four, I don't think they're going to win the Champions League. Although, do you know what? They are going to win one eventually. Money definitely talks. It definitely puts you in the picture. And I think we're going to have to resign ourselves at some point in the next 5, 6, 7 years. City are going to pull out a Champions League. It's inevitable. So anyway, on to the Crystal Palace game. So Crystal Palace at the moment, doing quite shite, for want of a better word. They're looking at one win in their last 6, and even that, I believe, let's pull it up actually. Who was it? I think their one win was Norwich, who are also in the shit and obviously just below them in the table. So, yes, we should be scared, because this is the game all season where we are expected to win. A team sits with 2 banks of 4, completely stifles us, and offers us absolutely nothing going forward to attack us, and that's where we struggle. They're probably going to match us in a 4-2-3-1. I think Wickham's probably going to end up being up front. You've got to look out for that 3 behind the striker though. Balassi, Punchin and Zaha, if they're all fit. I'm not 100% sure who's fit for Palace, but if those 3 are fit, Balassi and Zaha, well, we know Zaha, we know he's got the trickery, and sometimes but Zaha wasn't consistent for United, but I still don't think he really got a fair crack of the whip. I think what you've got with Zaha is a player who can change a game like that. And I think when you're inconsistent, you can do it for the single game. You can pull it out for a single match, and you can cause chaos. And when they're... I'm predicting that this is probably going to be their lineup, but we have no idea if they're going to rest players, because they've definitely got a chance of getting through against Watford. So, they're probably safe. Are they going to put all their eggs in a Wembley basket? We've still got to really fight on both fronts. Are they going to allow us this win almost and see what goes for the weekend? Or does the manager use this as an opportunity where he goes, listen, you're 50-50 for a Wembley place. Go and pull it out for me and show that you deserve to be playing in the semi-final. And that can make a difference. That's how I think I would use it as a manager. If I was talking to players today and I wanted to motivate a team, I'd be like, I haven't picked my team for Wembley. You've got a chance, you've got a chance, you've got a chance. Let's go to Old Trafford and show me why you deserve to be playing against probably what's going to be your opponents in the final. So, you could come unstuck a bit tonight. If they go for us, they'll leave gaps and I think we'll score goals. If they don't go for us, we are in for an absolute snooze fest. I might take a pillar, because weekend against Aston Villa was one of the most dull games I've ever seen. The crowd had that sort of expectancy. Now, Old Trafford crowd gets slagged off, and do you know what? Since Fergie, that's unfair, but there was a couple of years towards the end of Sir Alex Ferguson's reign where the crowd admittedly did just turn up and go on then, win. Because we would win 18 out of 19 home league games, maybe lose one, maybe draw the other. That was every season. It was clockwork. It was a guaranteed that we'd end up doing that at home. So the crowd didn't need to turn up. Once David Moyes was appointed, the crowd knew they had to turn it on, and there was a noticeable big difference. And that's remained under Louis van Gaal. The crowd knows, for the most part, that we have to turn up as well. Although against Aston Villa, the crowd did not turn up, so we got to look at ourselves a little bit there because we didn't do enough as fans. The rest of the side for Crystal Palace, Dan has had a good season, and Cabaye has had a good season. The centre-half's had a good season because he's needed to have a good season. He's been under a lot of pressure, and Cabaye, I think Cabaye's a hell of a player. It was a coup that they signed him anyway. So we have to be strong in midfield, and that obviously is going to probably mean that we're looking at Fellaini, doesn't it, tonight? And I really hope not. In my team selection for Full-Time Devils and the preview that I did for Full-Time Devils, which was released last night, I wanted to see, I think, Joe Riley and Borthwick Jackson both in the side. They both played last night for the under-21s, which I don't know if I mentioned it at the start of the video. I only got in at 2:30 from London, from White Hart Lane. So those two clearly aren't going to be playing tonight. James Weir wasn't involved, so maybe James Weir is going to be involved in the first team action tonight, because I'm not aware of him having a knock. And as under-21s captain, you'd think if he could have been involved in the game that wins us the title, especially when we've got no attacking players at all. He was like 9 defenders in the team last night. He would have probably been involved if he could have been involved in any way. So I think there's a chance that you might see James Weir on the bench tonight. Apart from that, I mean, I wanted to see Borthwick Jackson and Riley because I like the way they attack. And if it's not Riley, then Varela's the next one. Varela got the winner in the game last night. So if we can't play Varela, and we can't play Borthwick Jackson, and we can't play Riley, then the back four is going to be Darmian, Rojo, Smalling and Blind. That's just a fact. That's what it's going to be. Unless he is going to use Timothy Fosu-Mensah in there. Now this, for me, would be an opportunity to try Timothy Fosu-Mensah alongside Schneidlin as a midfield too. That, Louis, if you're going to try that, is going to win you a lot of favours. If you go with the back four as expected and put Timothy Fosu-Mensah in midfield with Schneidlin, you're going to give Cabaye a nightmare. Schneidlin should know all about Cabaye. And Timothy Fosu-Mensah should be a shock to everybody, and he's fantastic in midfield. I like that he's in your mind as a bit of a cameo against Villa in midfield, and we've seen what he can do for like the minute and a half or whatever that he was on the pitch. And then the forward four, I think you're going to play Rooney. I think you're going to drop Rashford. So I reckon it's going to be Marshall up front with Rooney as number 10. Lingard or Mata, I'm not sure which way he's going to go, because obviously there'll be someone rested and maybe played for the weekend. Probably going to go with Mata, I reckon. I don't know what happened, and the camera just stopped recording. Either way. So anyway, the forward four, like I said, I think probably Mata on the right, but he might not decide to play Mata and Rooney together for pace. So it could be Lingard, Rooney in the hole, Marshall up front, and Memphis on the left. Rest Rashford. He's played every single game, I think, since he made his debut, where he's played fantastic. Let's rest him. He's going to be a threat against Everton at weekend. So I think that's a place that we can afford to rest somebody, and I would go for it if we can. Besides that, Christ, there's not really anybody coming back from injuries. Luke Shaw's still not played football. He's working on strength and condition. He's working on his fitness, but he's not doing contact. He's not playing football just yet. So I think Luke Shaw is probably not going to make it before the end of the season, I don't think. And do you know what? I wouldn't cry a river if he doesn't go to the Euros. Give him a long pre-season, get him fit for next season, where he's going to absolutely smash it. He was one of our players of the season prior to his injury, so I think he'll be a big win for us when he comes back next year. So that's it. Score prediction. I'm hoping for a 2-0. Not confident, because how can you be confident at Manchester United at the moment? I've seen so many 0-0s at half time that it's ridiculous, isn't it, at the moment? So I'm hoping for 2-0. I'm thinking Palace are probably going to rest a couple of players, hoping that Palace are going to rest a couple of players. They do concede goals, so I'm hoping that they are continuing that today. So thanks for watching. Drop us a like, drop us a comment. Anything that you want to talk about ahead of tonight's game, I'll reply to a few prior to leaving. We are now almost at 8,000. Absolutely smashing it with the subs. So thank you for all the support. There should be a podcast today as well. It may be tomorrow now, because we are a little bit short on time. So check that out tomorrow. The link for the podcast is now in the description below. So make sure you check that out. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Laters.